Hello, Congressman. Good morning.
How are you, sir?
First, I try to calm myself down, right? Too much to get to. All right. Okay. So you're on the Judiciary Committee. This House Judiciary Committee has been looking into January 6th. We were just talking about this with Julie Kelly. Now, apparently, Cash has been turning over a lot of documents now, and you've been getting the FBI to actually work with you. Can you confirm that? And can you confirm that we can see potentially motion on some of these pressing issues, like who's the pipe bomber, and will there ever be any type of justice for Ashley Babbitt's murder?
Now, as you know, Benny, have to be very careful being on the House Judiciary Committee with the information that I share publicly before we actually have the hearing, and this goes through Jim Jordan. So obviously I have to kind of bite around the edges here. But here's what I will tell you, brother, and that is a reckoning is finally coming to this country for what happened during January 6th. And this is exactly why President Trump put Kash Patel in charge, is because the American people are due an explanation. How Ashley Babbitt was murdered, she's due an explanation. And I do think that there are going to be certain people, you're going to see some testimony that's going to come forward that's going to be contrary to the ridiculous narrative that the woke liberal left tried to sell to the American people for the past few years. And for the record, thank God the American people didn't buy that narrative, because that's why President Trump got reelected. This is the whole point of why President Trump won, because he wanted to put the right people in the right place to display as much truth to the American people that we haven't seen in decades. And so you're looking at some of the footage that was already released years ago, but if you notice, the media just kind of ignored it. Now it's going to come to the forefront yet again. You're going to see people be exonerated, and you're going to really see a lot of pushback on this narrative that everyone there on January 6th belongs in prison. You're going to see a lot of people that were released by President Trump when he initially took office, why they were justified to be released, why they should have never been behind bars in the first place. And this kind of transparency is what we need for this country to heal and move forward.
Yeah, I mean, it would from your mouth to God's ears. That would be amazing. Where it gets the people going.
Yeah,
we wanted to. We would like to see
that. It's provocative.
It's provocative.
Provocative. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It'd be really nice to know who this pipe bomber was.
Right.
It shouldn't be provocative at all. But yeah,
it should be just.
I mean, you're gonna make yourself a Media Matters clip no matter what. So well done. And this one definitely will get you on the trackers list. We got you all queued up here, Congressman, because there was a clip that went viral this weekend of one of your colleagues who will be very angry very angry when she sees your Valentine's Day photos or your wedding photos. It's Jasmine Crockett. She's also going to be very angry when you do the January 6th hearings. Jasmine Crockett has come out against your colleague, Byron Donalds, and attacked him. And in the most vile and racist conceivable manner, saying skin folk ain't kinfolk. And saying that his wife whitewashed him. Saying that this is maybe why Byron Donalds isn't a Democrat. She said this on The Breakfast Club. And, of course, if you were to reverse these comments, then this individual will be kicked out of Congress. Somehow this is, I suppose, permissible. It shouldn't be. And more importantly, I think this just shows the obscene levels of racism that is tolerable on the Democrat side of the dais. Just want to open up the floor for your comments on this.
Our former vice president, and I do mean former vice president, was married to a white man. The latest Supreme Court justice she's a black woman that's married to a white man. The former White House press secretary is a black woman that has a white partner. Ilhan Omar is with a white man. AOC is with a white man. This hypocrisy is disgusting. People like her are the reason why I am a Republican, because I am sick and tired of the race bait. You fall in love with who you fall in love with. We have come a long way in this country, and the fact that she is continuing this narrative just shows she's just a bitter woman that's trying to continue to divide this country. Byron Donalds and I are where we are because of our merit and who we are, and through hard work and determination. Who we choose to marry, it's our business. Whatever their race, religion, color, or creed is, that's our business. It doesn't make us less black. It doesn't make my wife more white or less black, depending on who she married. And this is the kind of stuff that I am so glad the American public are seeing. We aren't the party of race. We aren't the party of division. We are the party that wants our country back and wants to reward a meritocracy. And so this is the kind of narrative that they continue to put out. It's based on her logic. Every single black person should be a Democrat. All of them. We live in a two-party system, and every single black is the exact same, and we should all agree, and we should all be a part of the exact same party. And for her, the definition of black excellence is you're only excellent and you're only black if you're a Democrat. Well, that's utterly ridiculous. And we need good people of color, white people, black people, you name it, on both sides of the dais, so we can continue to get better and grow and share each other's heritages as a country and do it together and not divide us. I hope that Jazz keeps on talking, because the more she talks, the lower the ratings go for the Democrat Party. And the more that she talks, the better off it is for us as Republican Party going into the midterms. I pray that she continues to lead this party.
If you take what she's saying to its natural conclusion, what she's saying is that there should be only Asians marrying Asians, white people marrying white people, and black people marrying black people. That's what she's saying.
That's exactly what she is saying. And I'm going to tell you something, Benny. I recognize that there was a time in this country that was very rough. Keep in mind, my parents are 75 years old. My mom's almost 75. Don't tell her that. She's almost 75 years old. She grew up during the civil rights movement. My parents never went to middle school, elementary school, middle school, high school, or college, because they went to a historically black college, Southern University in Baton Rouge, for their entire lives. Yet their children spent their lives and spent most of their schooling amongst white people, because that's how far we've come in a very shortened period of time. I recognize deals of the past, but look at where we are now.
Right.
The America that we live in today is not the America of the 50s and 60s.
Right, but I mean, I guess I'm trying to get at the untenable question here, which is, are Democrats for racial quotas and bringing back Jim Crow restrictions on marriage? Like that's what I'm saying. So the logical conclusion here is that Jasmine Crockett says only blacks can only marry blacks. Right. Is that's now the defendable position of the Democrat Party?
Well, that's her defendable position. That's exactly the essence of what she is saying. No matter what race you are, you have to marry within your race. But here's the irony of this whole conversation, brother, and that is they would say that the Republicans are the ones that don't want interracial marriage anymore. No. It is them. It's comments like this. I have yet to hear a Republican, a MAGA Republican, tell me anything other than, Wesley, you have a beautiful family. Oh my gosh. I love that, the fact that you love each other regardless of where you look like. Two different backgrounds. My wife is from a small town in Iowa. I'm from a big city in Houston, yet we share similar values. We don't care what we look like. That's the Republican Party now. You are absolutely right. It's the Democrats that are trying to continue to divide us along racial lines, but wait for it, as long as you're a Republican. Because if you're a Democrat, then it's okay. And they excuse the fact that you're in an interracial relationship. And that's why I brought up the examples in the very beginning. So it's okay for Kamala Harris to be married to a white man, but not okay for Byron Donalds and Wesley Hunt to be married to a white woman. And why is that? Because we're Republicans, and now we're the ones who are whitewashed. What a foolish comment.
I mean, are you allowed, if Ilhan Omar marries her brother, is that allowable?
Like, this is
The question for Jasmine.
You're so great.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
These are big moral questions, and I'd love for Jazz to answer. I know it's a Jazz. Okay, so Jazz didn't like answering questions. She hit a reporter last week She, lashed out, like World Star, right? World Star clip, grabbed a World Star is a World Star clip, right?
Yeah.
So he grabs a phone. I mean, bro, if you did this, if Marjorie Taylor Greene did this, then she'd be kicked out of Congress, okay? Like, if she did this to CBS News, she'd be kicked out of Congress. And we all know it, right? If Marjorie Taylor Greene said only white people can only marry white people, she'd be kicked out of Congress, right? Yeah. Like, so why is it permissible? Like, why is this allowed? Would you be in favor of, like, either a censure or do Republicans just like this being the face of the Democrat Party?
Oh, well, of course I would be in favor of it. But see, let me get back on to how this whole thing started. It's always been rules for thee and not for me with these people. Do you remember when everyone in the entire country was locked down because of COVID? We couldn't go outside and surf in the Pacific Ocean. We couldn't go run outside. We had to show our papers to walk into any restaurant. But if you stood up to go to the bathroom, you had to have your mask on. If you sat down, you could take your mask off. You remember these moments in these days where people couldn't even go get their nails done or get their hair done? But yet we see Nancy Pelosi getting her hair done while the entire country has to be locked down. It is rules for thee and not for me. It's the exact same thing with what you just saw. I could never get away with behaving like that. I could never get away with treating a reporter like that. But the media carries water for them. And this is why shows like yours and what you do every day to elucidate the American public. I'm talking about the real freedom fighters and the real patriots that have completely turned the TV off because they want the truth. The fact that you're talking this is the reason why legacy media is dead, because they are carrying the water for Democrats that do not want to follow the rules because the rules do not apply to them. This goes to interracial marriage. This goes to COVID. This goes to how they behave on the House floor with Congressman Green acting like a complete clown when President Trump was talking. It's always rules for thee and not for me. So again, the hypocrisy that we continue to see is nauseating to most of us. And while the legacy media won't talk about it, we're going to talk about it on your show. And millions of people are going to see it. And I pray they continue to behave like this as they go into the midterms.
I want to thank you for bringing up Al Green. I almost forgot.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And the pimp cane. And I don't think that's racist at all because they're white pimps.
They're right.
What do you mean pimp cane is racist? They're not racist at all.
There are white
pimps. Stop going after. Yeah, you got to stop it. Okay, stop it. All right, let's talk about a white pimp. Pete Hegseth. So Pete Hegseth is in charge, and I'm not sure. I think you guys served at the same time, and you both are skull cracking alphas. And boy, he made a lot of news this morning, posting this. He says, for far too long, standards have slipped. We have different standards for men and women serving in combat arms, but this is not acceptable. We are now going to have the same standards for men and women if you wish to be in combat in the American military. Do you agree?
You see this smile on my face.
I do.
This is exactly why Pete Hegseth is our Secretary of Defense. And this is the kind of very simple, basic standards that we grew up with. This is the Army that we grew up with in the early 2000s to get to where we are today. It's just one standard. At the time we were coming up, how many push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run? If you can meet the standard of everyone else, then guess what? You got to move on. You got to do certain things depending on the standard in which you were met, in which you met. And the cool thing about it is this, look, there's a difference between men and women. Now, our party can say that and admit that. I know the Democrats have a hard time identifying the difference between a man and a woman. But if you're a woman and you want to go to combat, guess what? You have to be able to behave at the same standard as a man. Now, does that mean that there are some exceptions to this policy and there are certain women that are complete badasses that can do it? I know some of them. There were some women at West Point that can run circles around me. You know what? Come on in if you can meet the standard. But if you cannot, this is not about DEI. This is not about quota. This is about standards. If you meet the standard, then you can serve in combat. It is just that simple. This reminds me of being in the White House a couple of weeks ago when President Trump signed the executive order to not allow grown-ass men to compete against women. And President Trump said this. He goes, I can't believe I'm signing this executive order. This seems like common sense to me. This is utterly ridiculous. This is kind of the similar thing that I'm saying. It's like the left is going to try to make this out to say that Pete Hegseth, he hates women and he doesn't want people in the military. No. This is just common sense. If you can't drag a body off of a combat field, then you shouldn't be in the combat field. And by the way, that goes for dudes who can't do it either. There is one core, there is one standard. That's all that matters. And we want brave young people to continue to serve this country that are hell-bent on meeting said standard. I applaud Pete for doing what he did today.
Yeah, bro, I've watched enough women's UFC to know that there are plenty of women out there that can legitimately kick my ass.
100%.
Like, I get it, right? Like, it's like there's some straight up brawlers.
Yes.
All I'm trying, you make such a great point. It actually is a threat to American security to not have somebody who can assist in a combat role. And you've flown, I don't know, how many combat missions have you flown? Like,
I flew 55 in Baghdad. Yep, flew for 8 years in the military.
Bro, you got to be able, like, you got to make sure that, like, somebody has your six, right? Like, that the people who are flying with you can actually, like, get it done.
And I will tell you, in my unit, when I was deployed in Baghdad, the person that had the highest kill count in my platoon was a woman.
That doesn't surprise me. I've met women. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah,
great pilot.
I've met some angry women. Okay, yeah. You get the right woman with a gun. I mean, you're cooked, right?
Okay, and I didn't mind flying with her. I didn't mind flying on. She had our six. So fine by me. She's out here killing bad guys like me. I'll take it.
Something before we wrap up here, something I haven't asked you that I've wanted to. What the hell happened with that helicopter, with that Blackhawk helicopter that crashed in DC? There's an investigation ongoing into that, but I'm sure that has a particular interest to you. I know it's something that we haven't talked about in a while, but we haven't gotten a chance to chat about it.
It most certainly did. And great question. And as a helicopter pilot that has flown under those conditions and Class C airspace around airports, I got to tell you, I mean, I obviously took a personal interest to me. And first of all, you know, God bless those that perished in that horrible accident. And look, the investigation is still pending, so I can't speak to that. But what I can speak to is being a pilot and understanding that it looks a lot like it was just pilot error. And that's it. And that happens a lot. It happens often. And given the unfortunate circumstances, it was just a perfect storm that caused a horrible tragedy. And the one thing that I do love about Army aviation is that there's always an after action review. We always take a look at accidents like this, and there's a safety team that compiles all the accidents that happened in the previous year, and they go from unit to unit to unit. And there is a secret presentation to each unit that actually has the black box data. They mapped out exactly what happened, and then we learn from these mistakes, and they go to every unit around the country and talk about this accident. And so the issue is this is a once in a trillion situation. How many thousands, millions of flights have we had with Army aircraft flying around a civilian airfield and nothing has happened? I mean, I was in Fort Rucker, Alabama when I was training. There's thousands of flights, and this never happened. But the issue is this. It can't ever happen again. Let's learn from those mistakes. Let's eliminate pilot error, and let's get back to business. And the most important thing that we have to do is fly and fly safely.
Okay. Well, you know, at least Jasmine Crockett will be happy that it's called a black box. At least we'll have, Congressman, at least we'll have that. All right. I swear to God, if you put a white box, I swear to God, if you put a white box on that airplane,
white box, it didn't work. It doesn't work.
You put
white
that's
box
right.
Didn't work. They don't
work.
My
gosh. Yeah. You put a white box on that plane. That is not skin folk. Her words, not me. Her words, not mine. My God. Skin folk are kin folk. Final trick. Just a little help for you, Congressman, in case you are ever, I know that you serve with Jasmine on multiple committees. If you ever need to trigger her, if you ever need to win an argument with her, I have a photo for you. Just carry this, fold it up in your pocket. There you go. If you ever got a trigger, this one's really special. No, the mask one, please. Thank you. There you go. This is the one. This is the one. If you ever need to send her.
See, Benny, you're messing up, okay? Because now next time I want to have this blown up in a hearing sitting right behind me the next time. And I'll be talking about January 6th something. I'm just going to have that in the background just for reference.
You ever need to trigger her, Jazzy, if you ever need to trigger her. Dude's as white as his mask. You know what I mean?
Yes, he is. Yeah. White as fresh fallen snow. And I tell you,
that's right.
No problem with that, but she has a problem with my wife. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's personal. It's personal around here.
Clearly,
you have a beautiful family, Congressman. We say thank you for always being
so do you.
On the show.
And
I was
so
laughing on the show.
So
I know that we can, like, you're like one of the few guys we can actually laugh with, and so we're like thankful for that. And, you know, you'll take the joke, and you'll be like,
come on, you can't take yourself too seriously in this world, man. I'm happy. God has blessed us tremendously. We got to enjoy it, brother.
Yo, ain't that the truth? 334,000 Americans already follow the great Congressman. You be one of them. Go on in there, fight for somebody who's fought for us on the battlefield and now in Congress. Godspeed, Congressman.
Thank you, brother. You have a great day, man.